Welcome to our channel. Today, we'll be diving deep into The Power of Now, a guide to spiritual enlightenment by Eckhart Tolle, a book that has profoundly impacted the lives of millions by teaching the art of living fully in the present moment. Whether you're new to mindfulness or have been practicing for years, this book offers invaluable insights into finding peace and spiritual awakening. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Make sure you stick around until the end of the video because we'll be covering all the key takeaways from the book, and there's a link in the description below where you can grab your own copy of The Power of Now on Amazon. Chapter 1, You Are Not Your Mind. Eckhart Tolle begins by presenting a groundbreaking idea: you are not your mind. Many people live their entire lives trapped in an endless loop of thoughts, believing that these thoughts define who they are. This identification with the mind creates a false self, or ego, which leads to suffering. The mind is constantly chattering, worrying about the future, or replaying the past, which keeps us from experiencing the present moment. Tolle explains that the first step towards spiritual awakening is to observe your thoughts without judgment. By doing so, you create a space between yourself and your thoughts, allowing you to see that your true self is not your mind. This realization can be incredibly liberating, as it allows you to break free from the mental noise that often dominates our lives. Tolle encourages readers to practice mindfulness by paying attention to their thoughts without getting caught up in them. This practice helps in reducing the power of the mind and brings you closer to your true essence. Chapter 2, Consciousness, The Way Out of Pain. In this chapter, Tolle delves into the nature of pain and how much of it is self-created through resistance to the present moment. When we resist what is happening right now, we create tension and suffering. This resistance can be physical, emotional, or mental, and it often stems from our desire for things to be different than they are. Tolle emphasizes that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Suffering arises from our identification with the mind and our attachment to thoughts and emotions. Tolle introduces the concept of the pain body, which is an accumulation of unresolved emotional pain. This pain body can become activated in certain situations, causing us to overreact and feel intense emotional distress. However, by becoming conscious of the pain body and observing it without judgment, we can disidentify from it and prevent it from controlling our lives. Tolle provides practical advice on how to dissolve the pain body by staying present and not feeding it with negative thoughts. Chapter 3, Moving Deeply into the Now. The present moment is the only moment that truly exists, yet many of us spend our lives caught up in thoughts about the past or future. Tolle stresses the importance of grounding ourselves in the now. He explains that the past is nothing more than a memory trace stored in the mind, and the future is a projection of the mind. Both are mental constructs that do not actually exist. The only reality is the present moment, and by fully embracing it, we can experience life more vividly. Tolle offers several techniques for anchoring ourselves in the present. One such technique is to pay attention to your breathing, as it naturally brings your focus to the present. Another method is to engage fully with whatever task you are doing, whether it's washing dishes, walking, or even talking with someone. By bringing your attention fully to the now, you reduce the power of the mind and experience a deep sense of peace and fulfillment. Chapter 4, Mind Strategies for Avoiding the Now. The mind is a master at creating strategies to avoid being present. These strategies include worrying about the future, ruminating on the past, or distracting ourselves with endless mental chatter. Tolle explains that the mind uses these strategies to maintain its dominance over our consciousness. The mind fears the present moment because it knows that in the now, it loses its power. Tolle encourages us to become aware of these mind strategies and to consciously choose to bring our attention back to the present. He explains that one of the most common strategies the mind uses is to create problems. The mind thrives on problems because they keep us in a state of anxiety and distraction. However, by recognizing this pattern and choosing to let go of the need to solve imaginary problems, we can free ourselves from the mind's grip. Chapter 5, The State of Presence. Tolle introduces the concept of presence, which he describes as a state of being where you are fully aware and conscious of the present moment. Presence is not something you achieve through effort but something you realize by letting go of the past and future. In the state of presence, you are no longer identified with your thoughts and emotions. Instead, you experience a deep sense of inner peace and connection with your true self. Presence is the key to living a fulfilling and meaningful life. It allows you to experience the beauty of the world around you, connect deeply with others, and access the wisdom and guidance of your true self. Tolle emphasizes that presence is not a state that you achieve once and for all but something that you cultivate moment by moment. The more you practice being present, the more natural it becomes, and the more you experience the peace and joy that come with it. Chapter 6, The Inner Body. In this chapter, Tolle introduces the practice of connecting with your inner body as a way to stay anchored in the present moment. The inner body refers to the subtle energy field that exists within and around your physical body. By focusing your attention on your inner body, you can quiet the mind and enter a state of presence. Tolle explains that the inner body serves as a gateway to the deeper dimensions of your being. When you connect with your inner body, you are not only grounding yourself in the present moment but also accessing the formless, timeless essence of who you are. This practice can be done anywhere and at any time. For example, you can focus on the feeling of aliveness in your hands, feet, or chest. By doing this, you shift your attention away from the mind and into the present moment, where true peace resides. Chapter 7, Portals into the Unmanifested. The unmanifested is a term Tolle uses to describe the formless, eternal presence that exists beyond the physical world. It is the source of all life and consciousness, and by accessing it, you can experience a deep sense of peace and oneness with the universe. Tolle explains that there are portals or gateways to the unmanifested, such as silence, stillness, and the space around objects. By becoming aware of these portals, you can connect with the deeper reality that lies beyond the physical world. Tolle emphasizes the importance of embracing silence and stillness as a way to access the unmanifested. He explains that in the stillness of the present moment, you can experience the presence of the unmanifested and tap into the infinite wisdom and peace that it offers. Chapter 8, Enlightened Relationships. Tolle explores how presence can transform your relationships. Many relationships are based on neediness, attachment, or fear, which can lead to conflict and suffering. However, when you approach relationships from a state of presence, you are able to love and connect with others without the baggage of the past or fears about the future. Enlightened relationships are based on mutual respect, acceptance, and love, where both individuals are fully present and conscious. In an enlightened relationship, both partners are aware of their own egos and do not allow them to dominate the relationship. Instead, they support each other in staying present and connected to their true selves. Tolle explains that the key to creating enlightened relationships is to focus on being present with your partner, listening deeply, and allowing love to flow naturally without the interference of the mind. Chapter 9, Beyond Happiness and Unhappiness There is Peace. In this chapter, Tolle challenges the conventional pursuit of happiness, explaining that true peace is found beyond the duality of happiness and unhappiness. Happiness is often fleeting and dependent on external circumstances, while peace is a state of being that exists regardless of external conditions. Tolle introduces the concept of the peace that passes all understanding, which is a deep, abiding peace that is not affected by the ups and downs of life. Tolle explains that this peace comes from within and is accessible to anyone who is willing to let go of their attachment to happiness and unhappiness. By embracing the present moment and accepting life as it is, you can find a deeper, more lasting peace. This peace is not something you can achieve through effort or striving, but something that arises naturally when you let go of the need for things to be a certain way. Chapter 10, The Meaning of Surrender. The final chapter focuses on the concept of surrender, which Tolle defines as accepting the present moment as it is, without resistance. Surrender does not mean giving up or being passive but rather aligning yourself with the flow of life. Tolle explains that surrender is the key to spiritual enlightenment and living a life of peace and joy. When you surrender to the present moment, you free yourself from the need to control everything and allow life to unfold naturally. This does not mean that you stop taking action, but that you take action from a place of inner peace and acceptance rather than from fear or resistance. Tolle emphasizes that surrender is not a one-time event but a continuous practice that deepens your connection to the present moment and to your true self. Conclusion. The Power of Now is more than just a book, it's a guide to a new way of living, one that is rooted in the present moment, free from the domination of the mind, and filled with peace, joy, and spiritual awakening. By practicing the principles outlined in this book, you can transform your life and experience the profound peace that comes from living in the now. If you found this summary helpful, be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more summaries and insights. And remember, the present moment is all you have, so make the most of it. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next video.